Howdy everyone, welcome back to my channel. That's right, my channel. Watching you. Yeah, I'm standing up and I'm holding my microphone this time. Crazy. I'm actually also standing in front of a green screen, look. So with year 6 of Destiny nearly done, we're moving into year 7. Thought it would be good to have a bit of a recap of the seasonal activities for this year. That includes Season of Defiance, Season of the Deep, Season of the Witch, and Season of the Wish. A few things before we start though. One, these are my opinions. These are not based on any sort of kind of community stuff or anything like that. It is purely me sharing a game that I love with you. Two, if you disagree with me, that's fine. I really don't mind if you disagree with me. If you think, oh, Jack, what are you saying about my favourite season? I really, really like that season. What are you doing? Don't disrespect my season like that. It's not that deep. I literally am doing this for fun. Don't worry about it. It's alright. You can like what you like what you like, dislike what you don't. It's all cool with me. I don't care. We all play Destiny, so doesn't matter. The last thing is actually a fact. Did you know, if you subscribe to me, I gain a subscriber? Just saying. Maybe just press it. Press like as well if you like the content. If you don't, just dislike. That's fine. Now, look, are you actually going to subscribe and buy some noodles, or are you just going to fuck off? Just go watch the video. Without further ado, let's get to Season of Defiance. First up, we have Season of Defiance, which came out with the release of the Year 6 main campaign, Lightfall. As a quick catch-up, the Witness attacked the Traveller and then went inside of it in this big triangle portal thing, which set up the entire year of content for Destiny being trying to follow the Traveller into the Witness. No, that's not right. Which set up the whole year of content being trying to follow the Witness into the Traveller. This season being released with literally the biggest campaign of the year. It doesn't focus so much on that, it focuses more on the front lines, combating the Witness's forces by saving hostages of the Shadow Legion, which are like the big bad in this. This also ended with the death of Amanda Holiday, which no one really seemed to care about besides Zavala. Sorry, Zavala. I think you have to touch the computer to use it. So this season we got some really, really sick weapons. We have the Raconteur, Royal Executioner, Perpetualis, Prodigal Return, Regnant, Caretaker. This season's hub area also looked really, really cool. You can even see the Witness's portal just outside the window. Oh, the farm. Nostalgia to the max here. It's where Red War started. So in these missions you enter the Ascendant Plane, which is kind of the area that Marasov uses to get you into the pyramid ships to save all those hostages. It looks amazing. Just look at it. Oh, spoiler for a weapon for next season. So you'll see I just picked up that favour. What happens in this game mode is if you fulfill a certain requirement, like getting heavy kills and things like that, you get favours which boost melee damage, grenade damage, you super recharge, stuff like that.
Oh. They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
This game looks amazing. You seeing this ish? That's something you're probably going to hear a lot throughout this video. In this clip here, I'm actually just showing off my Void build a little bit because I'm using Gryfalcons for my chest piece and destabilizing rounds, so pretty much any time I get a kill it explodes on everybody. Look at it, the destruction, it's amazing. Warlocks, get a new build! Jeez. So after you've done all the co-op puzzles and things throughout this mission, you get to the end where you shoot at a boss as usual. You also have these things called the Balefires, which we're standing in right now. As we leave, you'll see it gets a bit foggy. The Balefires you activate and it creates a bubble so you're not damaged by all the darkness and things. Void invisibility saved me there. There you go, I just ignited the Balefire, so now I'm safe in this bubble. And we're shooting at the final boss, as usual in a Destiny game. These missions are very fun. There's 3 different bosses you could encounter, and he's dead. that's the majority of Season of Defiance. This did release along with the main campaign of Year 6, so it makes it excusable that it doesn't have as much content as some of the future seasons, but it did tie in nicely to the main campaign. It's a bit of a break from the Neon place, and by that I mean if you get fed up of shooting in Neomuna, you can go shooting in space instead. Next up is Season of the Deep, which in my personal opinion is quite underrated. It features the return of Titan, which is one of the planets that got sunsetted in the big Vault incident, and the community continued to not really care, as it goes with Destiny. It also featured the return of Sloane, although not fully herself.
And I always complete the mission.
There is a huge emphasis on Hive and Taken this season, the main plot point being getting information from this huge worm called Arsa.
It was for her.
Who coincidentally can't talk. Luckily, she can communicate with Sloane. Wow, coinky dinks. Which then kicks off the whole season, helping Sloane maintain her link with Arsa, who will then, eventually, after everything's happened, tell us how to get to the Witness. You following? I'm also quite stoked on this season because one of the main baddies is Ziva Ara, who is one of the Hive Gods, the Hive God of War, and is just generally a pretty badass character, so good. So the hub area for Season of the Deep is so cool. It's just like a big old fish tank. Here you deposit your fish. Fishing? Yeah, this season introduced fishing, which, although it probably sounds a bit ridiculous for Destiny to have fishing in it, it's actually quite good. I spent so long just fishing in between activities, trying to get those exotic fish, and it's just a pretty chill time in between usual rootin' tootin' shooting and gameplay, you know? And when you've caught all your fish, you come and release it here, and your rewards basically depend on the rarity and the amount of fish that you collected. You could even get exotics. So the weapons for this season, oh man, the weapons. So we had a Taken version and a normal version of each weapon. So we have Targeted Redaction, Spare Rations, Rapacious Appetite, Bug Out Bag, Different Times, Outlast, Until Its Return, Last Man Standing, Distant Pull, Soul Survivor, Thin Precipice, Just In Case. Now if you go through this portal, you could go and see the eye of that giant worm Arsa I was talking about. It's usually open, but obviously because I've completed it, it's closed. She's resting and sleeping. Very cool though. This season also had 2 activities, Salvage and Deep Dive. Both have the same premise, it's just deep dives are a bit more challenging, but they offer greater rewards, and they're only 3-player, whereas Salvage is 6-player, essentially. We'll get to that. Hold your horses, Jesus Christ. So this is where I was just changing my loadout to Strand, because I just wanted a bit of a change up and make it more interesting for you, I suppose. I do enjoy when they put cutscenes in, even if they're so simple, it just sets the mood, you know. So this is Salvage. The idea of Salvage is just to basically just complete basic objectives, like go over here, do this, put this in that, get this amount of kills, stop people from entering portals, all that kind of stuff, the basics. What sets this apart though is that there's 6 people in a team, and it's just quite fun. It's nice to be back on Titan on the rig, and obviously, as we keep saying, this game looks amazing. And there is still a timer on the top left, so you just basically complete as many objectives as you can. Here I just wanted to show off some Strand gameplay because it's so much fun. I felt so badass doing this. So cool.
Quick question. How do you feel about unfathomable depths and horrific abominations? Anyway, transmat firing.
Yeah, once you're done with all the missions up the top, you get transmatted underneath the Titan rig and you get to go underwater. The underwater vibes this season are so good, like you can actually go underwater. After that, once you've been through all the underwater passages and things, you come into a boss room gameplay, you'll quite often have a rune. You see that big rune that was just there? You then just have to find the circle that has the same rune so you can destroy all of the shield bearers and then damage the boss. Strand super gameplay time. It's so much fun. It reminds me a bit of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Just a lot more green. So here we are, we're in the circle, just clearing some of the ads so we don't all die. And then they've already gotten rid of his shield. I didn't even need to shoot a bullet at him. Crazy. Thunderlord is OP as hell. If no one's got it yet, I would just get it, because it's probably the best machine gun in the game, I would say. We're absolutely annihilating him.
That boss wasn't very bossy, was he?
Okay, straight on to deep dives. So it's a similar premise. We're going to go underwater, but you get these roguelite type things called Arthur's Gifts, which give you bonuses to something. I've just picked boss protection, but you can also get like elemental damage power-ups and things like that.
I'm just as
And then,
frustrated as you are.
again,
I hate
underwater.
the hive, Saladin.
Oh, honestly, look at it. Oh, I just got pooped. But what I was going to say is, well, as we keep saying,
this game looks amazing.
So another thing in the deep dives, which, I mean, you could just go the normal route, but as you can see, one of them just shot at me because they want to initiate the pressure trial for the area. Once you've initiated the pressure trial, you get similar objectives, but you've also got much more powerful foes. You can kill people, like specific enemies, to increase that timer that's in the top left. I'm an idiot and just stranded into exploding enemies. We don't talk about that. That's pretty much the gist of it. It's just a harder challenge for you, and you get greater rewards at the end of it. There you see we just killed a Wraithful Predator, and it's added some time to our timer. Pressure trial is now fully started. Clear hostages. Hostages? No! Clear hostiles. Well, he's already killed one of them over there. Also, just to show off a little bit, I wanted to use my Adept Rufus's Fury, which I got from the Pantheons, which, if you weren't about then, it was just a series of raid bosses, but you get Adept versions and hallowed versions of weapons. It's very, very good. We've just killed another one. I think there's one left, but also Strand gameplay is so much fun, so I was just kind of going for the ads. There's the last one. You can also see when I'm shooting things, you see those like green little threadlings come out. That's the way I've got my build set up. That's so OP because it just wipes out ads really. Back to Thunderlord, and he's gone.
Well executed, fire team. Your next objective rests at a lower depth, well behind enemy lines. Move carefully.
We're going deeper. And we're deeper. We picked up the Erigor, which is what helps maintain the link between Arthur and Sloane, and now we're just activating the pressure trial for this area as well. I found this one actually a bit easier than the last one. So here's one of the main enemies we need to kill, Blade of the Deep. He's gone. Also showing off my hallowed version of the fusion rifle. There's the boss. So it should be alright. Oh, more Strand gameplay. Hell yeah, it's just so good. If you've not used the Strand on the Hunter, I'd so recommend it. It's so fluid, it's just so much fun to use. And there we go, he's gone. But wait, he wasn't the actual boss. Foes grow stronger, pressure trial is that dude. I actually didn't expect this either. I don't think I did this one before this video. Same thing applies though, it's a standard boss encounter for Destiny. You shoot it until it's dead. I've gone back to trusty old Thunderlord. As I'm reloading, you can see my decoy actually automatically explodes and kills all of the ads that spawn next to me, so that was quite helpful. And it is dead. There we go.
One of my absolute favourite things of being underwater is actually the sound design. It creates such a cool atmosphere, especially when you hear the creaking, then the cracking. Your suit as it starts to give way to the pressure being underwater. Until you walk into a bubble and then you're completely fine. So once you've done all of the challenges, done as many as you can, you jump through that portal and now you're at the final boss encounter. You can see on the left side where it says reward tier ×6, that's because of the amount of pressure trials we completed.
Ever seeking prey, born of wrath, driven by whips.
Ziva Araf is such a cool enemy, honestly. I'm hoping that one of those episodes that they're talking about, we actually get to fight her. That would be so much fun. So this encounter, standard boss encounter, there's a few different ones you could get, but this one with the big old servitor just teleports you away and you have to get out of this bubble. You'll see that he spawns in with his other little servitors. You've basically just got to kill those servitors and then he'll let you out because he's a really, really nice guy like that. Also, that dude on my team called Saucy Jack, shout out. Yeah, I love that name. There we go, so we've beaten all those servitors, we're going back out to actually fight him again. Typical thing, rinse and repeat, there's going to be a lot of more ads and we're getting teleported back. This time I was teleported on my own and that's never happened before. So I did my best, I got out and we killed him. And that's it. He used his super quite late, but that's fine. His name's Saucy Jack, we can allow that. This one, we've got the Eragor samples for Arthur and Sloane. You get a bonus chest. You see where it says tier 6? That's why you do the pressure trials, because you get much greater rewards. Did I get a red border weapon? Ooh, yeah, there we go. It's all ultimately ended in these words being spoken.
The true path lies obscured, but she knows the way. She who hides truth in deception. The Witch Queen must rise.
Yeah, the boss of Year 5 Destiny, you know, the one that you went and killed, one of the other gods of the Hive, the one that you've already defeated and everyone kind of hates canonically anyway, not in real life. I know Abathun has her own kind of fan base. Sometimes I don't get this community at all. She has to be resurrected to enact her final wish, which her final wish hopefully being getting into the Witness. So here we go. Season of the Witch. Welcome to Season of the Witch, when we finally resurrect one of our big long-time enemies who we finally killed, and she's nice. Yeah, it turns out she has a bit of a love affair with old Traveller up there. And being the god of schemes, claims this is part of her plan to help Traveller up there. This season was badass. The aesthetic was amazing, the gameplay is amazing, all of it. I absolutely love this helm, like hub area. You come down into this room and there's a big old hive portal in the back. Also there's loads of just like hive related stuff around. It's very, very cool. Go through the portal. Oh my god, look how amazing that looks. It's literally just, even the sound design with all the frogs and wildlife and things. You've got this big summoning circle in the middle where Eris usually stood when she had something to tell you. The mechanics. So, you've got two tables. This one here is for your tarot card deck. These are what give you your bonus powers and things inside of the missions for this season. You also got some extra bonuses in there, as you can see, like exotic engrams and things. Then over here is your usual table where you get all your weapons. The weapons this season had a very similar aesthetic to what you're seeing around you. Very Witch Queen-esque. It's very, very cool. I use some of these all the time. We have Briar's Love, the Eremite, Kept Confidence, Semiotician, Locutus, Elatic Principle. I also just wanted to show off the scenery of this area a little bit more. Just look at it. It's so like dark kind of mood. I honestly can't get enough of it. This is an Ahamkara egg, which I will explain later on. You have to wait and hold fire for that one. This game just looks stunning. It also has an amazing end, which I'm going to save for the end of this segment. Obviously, this season had 3 game modes: Sabathun's Spire, Altars of Summoning, and The Imbaru engine. I'm not going to touch the Imbaru engine because it's literally just a load of puzzles for story related stuff. Spoiler alert, at the end of the Imbaru engine you find an unhatched Ahamkara egg, which we'll get onto later. Don't worry, put a pin in that for now. I've also already completed it, so it's just a bit pointless. If you wanted to go and see the story stuff, then I'm sure there's so many other videos out there for that. I guess we didn't want to watch that one then. Starting off in Savathun's Spire, this is where you start and you get your tarot card bonus. The only confusing thing is you need to kind of remember which card has which bonus. So I normally just pick whatever one's there. More Strand gameplay. This area is always the same at the start, where you're just kind of killing ads and you've got to defeat those light hoarders. You can see it is timed in the top left. Once you've beaten the light hoarders, you collect the light from them, and then you go and stand in the circle that it tells you until it's filled up. Simple as that. So here we're just about to complete it, we've completed it, and then we get the Synaptic Spear, which is so cool. That I'm pretty sure is randomised, but you could also get the Scythe from the Hallowed season. I've forgotten the name of that one. What we're doing now is we're just going to kill this last Shrieker because we've done it 3 times and filled up all of the circles, and then the elevator opens and we can continue with the Spire. Yeah, go Middlecorn 34051. Yes, come on, you've got him. Woohoo! Okay, so one, you cannot tell me that this does not look amazing. Literally, like the light reflections and things, and just the whole design of this area is so good. Also, you'll see those little green barriers around. They are like weekly additional tasks. You can like shoot runes and things. Moving forward though, we are now at our next encounter. I believe Ikora is going to explain it.
The void light will pull you in. Break its hold over you, Guardian.
Well, not a very good job of explaining
Shatter
it.
the void crystals to undo their power.
Thanks, Eris. That's basically it. This one can also be different ones. It basically depends on a light power, so this one's void, but there's also an arc and a solar version. I got a bit too carried away with the Strand gameplay here, and I'm actually trying to grapple away because the void's pulling me in. Oh, yeah, I did it. Almost. No. Oh. Honestly, Strand is so much fun, but I do get carried away. Look at all those little threadlings popping out of them. That's so good. There we go. So we've just completed the objective. The door has opened, and we're moving on to the next encounter, which is the final one. Now here I think it is determined on a weekly basis which portal actually opens to which boss area. This time it was the left one. Not sure about that one. I don't think it was our fault. All 3 of the bosses that you could get is the usual Destiny encounter. Look at all these shanks that spawn in. That is insane, but also very fun. Now I'm back with my Thunderlord. I'm spraying at the boss from behind because both of them are in front of it, and we win. Yeah, boy!
Here's what I don't get. All the power of the Hive in your claws. And you gave it up.
Some foreshadowing there.
I used it. I heard Zivoroth's screams. It was not just pain.
Look! Altars of Summoning is very similar to how the Blind Well works in the Dreaming City. You choose difficulty. If you have the right item to enable that difficulty, you play that difficulty and hope that you kill the boss or waves or whatever it is. Rinse and repeat. So we're just going to do one run of an Altars of Summoning just so that we can kind of see what it's about. I'm pretty sure that crystal that dude just shot is actually part of a extra quest that you got for this season. This one's pretty standard, pretty much just the same as the one that we just did in the Savathun's Spire, where we're getting the light off the light bearer things, we're going into these circles to power it up, and then his shield will go down and we can damage him. I have switched from Thunderlord. I changed to Dragon's Breath because I had loads of solar things on and I thought it made sense. Here we are, rinsing the boss, and he is gone as well. We're good at this whole boss killing lark, aren't we? This is what happens at the end of the season's campaign.
There is Morn. Finally out of her shell. It looks good on you, honey.
I am your ruin.
Savathun has not been killed by a hive since she lost her worm. Stored eons of potent lies and deceit.
All Savathun's power, plus the tithes of the Guardians.
Eris Morn is the strongest hive there has ever been.
Hear me, dead things. I let this moment pass unnamed, without song. This is the rejection of your sad legacy. Xivu Araf, agitator, fomenter, what a world cyst you have built from your conquests. No more. Now and forever, you are banished. Hayat.
Eris Morn becomes the strongest hive god that has ever lived by siphoning Savathun's power so that she's able to banish Xivu Arath from her own throne world, which is what gives her her power. And then she gives it all up for the sake of saving humanity. Holy shit. Then we find out that Savathun has one more trick up her sleeve. Who figured?
A pattern. It's Savathun's wings. She did give us what she promised.
It ultimately does get us to the witness. We need a wish. It's Season of the Wish time. That's cringe as hell. I'm never doing that again. This is Season of the Wish, my personal joint favourite with Season of the Witch. And it's where the year kind of concludes for the Final Shape. A little bit of lore for you. The Ahamkara are huge dragons who have the ability to grant wishes. Kind of like a genie, but much bigger and kind of a bit more kind of threatening, but really, really cool. Savathun's last wish was to use the Veil of the Lightfall campaign to help transport people inside of the trap to follow the witness. This is accepted on one condition. We save all of the unhatched Ahamkara egg, which naturally we do. Although I did almost forget to mention. This is Riven, a raid boss, who is also the Ahamkara that's going to grant the wish. She's only in spirit form, but still has the power to grant the wish, and it's her last wish, hence final wish. Why is it with big bosses becoming allies? Alright, here's the helm for this season. It's very Awoken, kind of Dreaming City themed, which I love. So there's Queen Mara sitting on her throne, and then if you look up, you've got all of the star-crossed missions, star signs there, which is pretty cool. As we go down these stairs, we're going to see some cool little holograms, some more Awoken type stuff. There's not much else to really see down here, it's just a cool little room, really. Let's have a look. Whose swords are they? Yeah, this season had a Witcher crossover, which is pretty cool. Don't mind me, I'm just going to have a bit of a soak. So moving back up the stairs after we've had our soak like the Geralt of Rivia, we go through this portal and there's usually a big spirit of Riven there, but I've already completed the storyline so she's not there anymore. As you walk up you can interact with this orb thing and then buy any of the weapons from the season. These weapons are awesome because they're all kind of Ahamkara themed. We have the Super Cluster, Scatter Signal, Appetence, Lithophobia, Scalar Potential, Doomed Petitioner. We also had these Blackguard and Vex type looking ones with Imperative, Subjunctive, Adhorative, Optative. This season has 2 game modes and they are literally the same game mode. Riven's Lair and the Coil. The coil lasts longer. It does give you better rewards. I actually managed to cap out my Vanguard medallion things just by completing the coil a load of times, which is pretty sick. It does last longer. There's much more routes to go down instead of just one, and you spend like these wishing glass pieces for upgrades and things. Kind of similar to how the deep dives worked in Season of the Deep, but a lot more kind of mystical and dragon-like. No complaints. Riven's Lair is literally the same thing, except it's literally just one run through and you don't get that bigger spree of rewards. You just get like the seasonal rewards and that's about it. So for this video, we are just going to do a run through of Riven's Lair instead of the coil. They're the exact same, alright? Calm down. Well, it is potentially my favourite little intro cinematic, but I'm the one who ruined it because I pulled up my thing. Oh dear. So the aim of these is that you get one of these random portals that open and you go through the route. This is the first type of area that you can encounter. There's slightly different ones depending on if you're fighting Vex or Scorn or whatever enemy it tends to be, sometimes Taken. With this Scorn one, you can literally hear and see all of these little poison clouds forming from where we're walking past them. There is a little chest icon there as well, which you can open, but you have to be on the coil because you have to earn the wishing glass shards. Here we are at our first encounter. I'm going to show off my Void build again because it is my favourite one. You can see the destructive power of it there. Are you ready for this? Just watch. Oh, look at all those chain reactions. Oh my god, I love this build so much. After you've completed all of these little puzzles, which is basically a rinse and repeat scenario, you go through the portal and you're at the final encounter. We were both silly and put our flags down at the same time. This is the Scorn boss. So this one, you are trying to kill the people that give you the plague. And then you see that person standing on a pedestal in the middle. You need to kill him, otherwise the plague timer will go down and you will die anyway, regardless of anything. So those mephitic hosts, if I'm even pronouncing that right, they drop these little balls, you get the plague, and then you destroy the shields on both of them before that plague timer runs out. But if that plague timer does run out before you stand on that little plate in the middle, you will die. I'm also living up to my gamer tag there with the bow and arrow super. Here I've actually got the plague and it's ticking down, so I decide to stop shooting at the boss and just run and quickly cleanse myself. But while I'm gone, my teammates managed to kill him, so I wasn't even there for the boss to die. I love it when that happens. Either way, mission complete. We drop down and we go get our rewards, and then we finish. I would say, am I going to get a red border, but I already had all of the craftable weapons for this season, so it's just going to be a normal one.
I have been giving much thought to the...
And this is where we are now. The season ends with Crow going through the portal instead of us as Guardians because he has a link with Mara, the Queen of the Awoken. They needed to buy time, so they made us stay back to do the Into the Light stuff. Shax comes out of his big old house and he's like, hey, do you want to defend the last city? No, I actually just want to go play the final shape. In any case, a few weeks on, he gets through the portal, meets a friendly face, and then boom, we're at the final shape. I'm so excited. I know that this video is definitely going to come out after the release of the final shape, but I still think it's quite cool that we've got this video done and we have kind of archived this year of content. We've had some really great times, we've had some great aesthetic choices, we've had some great weapons, we've just had some great times. Fishing is in the game. If you would have told me back in Destiny 1 days that I would be fishing in Destiny 2, I would have literally laughed in your face. I also want to use this outro to call out the Destiny community. You heard me. Are you ever happy? We've received so much great and free content this year, and yet all I ever see on any sort of social media, particularly Instagram.
Where I suck, so I'm going to go onto Instagram and just hate on everybody who actually likes Destiny. Where my pee-pee small, but.
Grow up. Rewind back to what I said at the very start of the video. We all like Destiny. If you don't, why are you bothering? Just don't play it.
But honestly, I hope this video can serve as a record of all of the good that we get out of the game. And, you know, these companies are big. Like, just because Bungie has made some weird choices in terms of trying to get money off of people and things like that, I highly doubt the devs were even part of that discussion. There's so much more that goes into... Companies aren't just one person. It's not just one guy making the entire game and then he wants all your money. Like, there's so many other things that go into it. Investors and like CEOs and all this kind of stuff goes into it. Devs are fairly low down on the ladder of people in these companies. So when you're next thinking, oh, it is the devs' fault that this game monetizes poorly, just fact check it a little bit. It might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but yeah, just grow up. As always, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. That actually sounded like really sarcastic. I didn't mean to. That wasn't sarcastic. I really appreciate you staying to the end. It does mean a lot. I'm a new channel. I put a lot of effort into these things. I'm literally standing in front of a green screen in my bedroom. But I do it because I love it. I do it because you love it. So if there's any kind of feedback that you have for me on how I can make this content better, just leave it in the comments. As always, subscribe, like, dislike if you didn't like it, and I'll see you in the next video.